Moonlight Madness, and today we're doing the sign of Earth, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And the deck I always use, which I've had since 2015, is the Fairy Guidebook Tarots by Doreen Virtue and Rabbit Valentine. It's very old, as you can see. It's been well used. I got them back in 2015 for a birthday present for myself, and I think the shop's actually closed down since then. It was in Bulimba, when I used to have my coffee. I used to go in there and buy all these spiritual books that they had, and they had decks, and that's where I got it from. But it's one of my favourites. I'm also using today Work Your Light by Rebecca Campbell. This was given to me as a gift from a person in my class at Got Your Sister Back, which I should have been at today, but I've been unwell, so I stayed home. Had some sort of fever or I don't know, thing where you can't get out of bed. You're so tired. I'm exhausted. I have zero energy, so and I had a cough. I thought best to stay home. I'm drinking my favourite tea when I'm not well, which my son gave me from T2. It's chamomile. I always love chamomile. It's very soothing and good for inflammation. It's good to bring down fever as well. I'm a natural therapies person. And then the other deck I'm going to use today is The Enchanted Map by Colette Baron-Reid. It's that one there. The first card I pulled, and this is something that is interesting because I find I'm a lot like this. I have a Taurus moon somewhere in my chart, and I've got Virgo strongly placed, but also Taurus. This is about a Libran energy around you. You may have a Libra that you're worried about, or the Libran may oscillate between male and feminine energy quite often because that's what they do with the scales. They try and balance out their emotions. So, everyone's got male and feminine energies in them, but if you're more feminine and you're in a male body, well, that can be very hard to navigate those emotions and how you're feeling about certain situations, because boys don't cry, they don't express themselves, whereas girls can, and that's where it becomes very hard. So men get angry instead of crying. They yell when they get angry and start arguments and fights. So it's telling you have to try and find a balance between being overly compassionate or being too giving and not receiving. So you need to balance out the giving and the receiving, the yin and the yang. The yin is the female energy, which would be receiving gifts and attention, and the yang is giving out and taking control and being assertive. So you need to have that balance. Don't be always the one giving out stuff. You need to also give to yourself first. If you're not well, you can't give out that energy to a room or a classroom of people. That's what I've told myself. No, you're not well. Just stay home and sleep it off. The Two of Winter is to do with indecision and holding you back. Make the choice that's best for you rather than trying to please others. Feeling trapped between the intellectual and the emotional. So you may be doing something at school, or you might be doing a course, and you're doing it because you want the praise and attention from your family members, your other half, your mother and father. You just want that attention, that praise for saying, oh, no, wonderful, I'm doing this course, and you want the accolades and you want the attention. But are you really doing it for you, or are you doing it for someone else to make them feel good about themselves, so they are living vicariously through what your achievements are? You should never do anything unless you really want to do it. I mean, I sort of said to one of my sons, if you want to go study, study. If you don't. You can always defer. You don't have to stay in something you're not happy in. If it makes you that upset, then there's no joy in Struggle Street, where you're pushing yourself to do work, and you're pushing yourself to do study, and then there's nothing left for you, and then you're just exhausted and cranky and tired. So you've got to be careful. Have a balance by not overdoing things or overgiving your energy and time to things. Take them some time for you. This card on the bottom is the Five of Pentacles. I always see that as giving, reaching out to others for assistance. So you may have been challenged by money in the past. This is maybe what your driving force is. You don't like to not have money in the bank. You like to have something put away for a rainy day, so you're never ever having to ask money from other people. You like to rely on yourself. And you may have come from a very poor upbringing, and that can also put a spin on workaholism. Workaholics usually are like that because they fear of lack of money. In the past, you may have been very deeply concerned about Earth and and animals and the water resources and the world. And you may have had a deep love and understanding for the animals and nature, and very interested in wildlife, things like Jamalia, or you might be very interested in helping the koalas, or the plight of when we had the bushfires back before we had the COVID. You may have been concerned about all the baby animals that were trapped, and they couldn't get out of their trees, like the koalas and the natural flora and fauna, which was terrible. So that might be your mission. It was to protect and nurture and improve where we're doing our fisheries and our renewable energies and our food supplies, and how to be environmentally conscious and environmentally aware. And so earth signs, you've got here also the 5 of summer. This can be to do with a reason for everything that happens. So remove yourself from negative emotions of others and focus on that which frightens or worries you. So you may find that you're around a group of people at the moment and you're trying to make everyone get along, but it doesn't always happen because you've got conflicting energies, conflicting ideals and belief systems. You may be going through something in court where you've got to try and figure out how to get along in a court legal situation, because you both have opposing viewpoints and you both have different opposing belief systems. You may be religious and the other person's not, and they may be spiritual and you might not understand where they're coming from, and so you're likely to butt heads and clash. My family doesn't get me at all, and that's fine because I'm just who I am now. There's no rhyme or reason for what I do anymore. It just is. I just am who I am, and they just have to accept it, and this is just part of who I am now. In the future, you may be going through a rebirth or through a death of a family member, or a death of a way of life. You may be wanting to transform your life into something amazing. You want to let go of things and people and places because they no longer gel with you anymore, and you don't see any reason to visit or try and get along because you don't have that ability to see eye to eye. So you just have to be, I guess, agree to disagree. Just agree that you don't get along, and so be it. You don't have to force a situation. I know I don't get along with some of my family members, and that's fine. I just don't visit them. But I feel, because they don't get me, so I feel excluded. I feel ostracized from my own family. And I think that's really sad because I'm family. But when they try to include me in things, I don't feel I'm welcome. So I just don't go. I just don't visit. The Chariot, this could be to do with your butting heads with a Sagittarian because you've got the Chariot card. Or you may be looking at your car and thinking, I need to get it serviced, or we need to, try and steer a middle ground between two opposing personalities. You may have a fire sign and you may have an air sign, which usually don't get along. Fire and air just don't. They whip each other up into arguments. I don't get on with Leos at all. So that could be the merging viewpoints. It says that you're trying to steer your way through this minefield, if you will, of people and not getting along, and that's very difficult. But it says you will be very successful in your plight if you're trying to be get recognised in the spiritual community right now. If you're doing an online thing like this, I see you steering and navigating your way through the choppy waters and emotions of others, and you remain firm. And the wheel is also the Chariot. Could say you're very lucky right now, so you may want to take a lotto ticket out or bet on the horses or something like that. Then you've got around you, and effects and people around you, is the Prince of Wands, which is a fire sign. It could be Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. You may have them as a family member that's around you right now. They're charming, they're self-confident, they're passionate, they're restless. They like to go on big trips. They like to do long drives, road trips. That's a very big thing of my brother's. He likes road trips. And they just like adventure. They're fun. They like to sing. They like to dance. They like to draw. They're usually the life of the party. And they're very paternal. They're very good dads. They're very good father figures. So there's that. And then you've got here the arguments. You may have recently had an argument with this fire sign for Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn energy that I'm reading for. And this can be just competition. You may be both very competitive with each other. Someone might get a new car and the other one then wants to one-up it and get a new car. And there's this like competition which I don't know, someone does a course and completes a line of study, and then the other one will go off and want to go and compete and do a line of study to change careers or change jobs or whatever it is. It's just a healthy competition. It could say you need to do more with that energy that you've got. You may have ADHD and you may need to get rid of all that extra energy and focus it into something that is beneficial for you to wear yourself out. I call it wearing the battery down, because I'm ADHD, so I'm very much like that. I have to walk 15 k's a day, and that's sometimes why I think, burn out and get sick occasionally, because I really do push myself in everything I do, whether it be work, whether it be study, whether it be parenting. I just think, I feel I have to try and be an all-rounder, because I was the single parent. So then you've got here, and this is you coming up in your own reading, the King of Pentacles. This is a person who loves to look at all the beautiful things that they've earned around them. They would like to see if they've got a garden, they like to admire all the plants that they've got there. They may admire all their trinkets, their jewelry, their, interior design. Like, they like nice things. They like velvet. They like satin. They like luxurious creams and potions. And they just like to pamper themselves. Velvet and velour is also another thing. They could be really good at decorating, home decorating as well. It says here they're charismatic, they're gifted, they're accomplished. And he's got the puppy dog at his feet. He's very guarded. He's very, he guards people. He protects people. He may be overly protective of, you may be overly protective of your children and your family and everything going your way. A good person or company to work for. Again, workaholism is a problem with being so driven and wanting to achieve results and goals. They're either out, with the council trying to fight a park that's going to be put in, or they could be out with picketing for something that's going on around in their surroundings, like a dog park. My mum's currently doing that. She doesn't want it there because she thinks it'll be bad for the animals that might drown or something. I think she's something like that. She said the wildlife, that's what she was worried about. The wildlife would be disturbed by having a dog park there. The little animals, like we've got the wetlands. A lot of the wetlands is kind of around where my mum lives. There's lots of small animals and birds and bird life, and she's probably scared that there's a dog park, then they might, hurt the animal. So that's her concerns. But that's okay. I think it's progress. She might be able to go down there and take her puppy, because she's a bit scared of Lily being attacked by big dogs. So I can understand her fear. She's had it happen to nearly all of her dogs, because the big dogs have attacked the little dogs. So there could be a little bit of that going on. You may feel like you're being picked on by family members because you don't see things the way they see things, and you may see things differently, and so then they leave you out, or they don't include you in their plans, and that's very hurtful. And I know I've been left out of different things, and I kind of think, oh well, I'm not worthy of that group. I'm not important because I don't fit in, and I'm seen as weird or whatever, and I can't help what I am. So this is just how I am now. My boys know that I try to do the right thing by people and places and family, but if they don't like me, well, then I can't force that. I'm not going to try and force my way in. I think you should all just agree to disagree at the end of the day. Life's too short. Say hello, have a quick hello, stop round for a quick 20-minute cup of tea, and then off you go. Go different ways. You don't have to immerse yourself into each other's lives, but it's nice to kind of say hello, acknowledge them. But that's all I have to say on family dynamics. They're just very complicated. Okay, so the next card I'm going to pull is the Light card. I'll just pull 2 out of this because I feel I only need 2 cards. I've already shuffled them. They're quite nice cards. Okay, Keepers of the Earth. Again, this is very much a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We just talked about the wildlife, so we were chatting about that. And then we've got the Initiation. Oh, so you may be being tested on some level on whether that you fit into a group or a new group that you may be going to, like you're going to do a course somewhere and then you don't know how you're going to fit in with this group of people. They may be testing you. A rite of passage. You may decide to marry someone or get engaged, and they're looking to see what flaws you have, what they can and possibly can't put up with, or testing to see what you will do in a certain situation and how you will handle yourself. That would be very hard, I think, trying to break into a family that is so dismissive and quick to judge. I think that's the thing I can't stand about people, is judgment. I don't judge, I just let people be who they are. Okay, here we go. Where are we? Initiation 68, so I don't know these cards that well. Okay. As long as you don't impact your belief system on me or hurt me or I don't know, whatever you're into, if you don't impact me, then I'm not going to bother with you. I just will let you do your own thing. Some of the most sacred initiation chambers and temples look scary from the outside, but are breathtakingly beautiful on the inside. This represents the journey and the soul pilgrim is required to take to reach somewhere sacred, but only the initiated can enter. Perhaps that's where you are right now. You're being tested and initiated. You are headed somewhere sacred. Initiations require that we cross the threshold from one world or state of being to the next. We're calling to face what scares us and have to be willing to lose it all in order to gain a new way of being, of safety, of security, of depth, of meaning. Initiations, like rites of passages, mark the shift from one age to the next and can take place of emotional turmoil, great loss, grief, or devastation. But it is through the seeming hardship that our heart cracks open and our spirit is invested to step forward. We take that sacred voyage into more of who we are and who we came here to be. It can be painful and scary, but once begin the journey, we can be more ourselves than ever before. If you're in the middle of initiation right now, you will get through it, and one day soon you will bless the thing that broke you down, cracked you open, because the world needs you open. You are going somewhere sacred. It will be worth it, and you're closer than you think. Cross the threshold. You could be crossing a threshold in time. I astral travel quite often when I'm asleep, and I'm going forward in time, and it's usually 5 years, sometimes it's 2 years, and sometimes it's 20 years. Now that can scare some people if they're not open to it. But that's just what I've been able to do since I was 13. I was traveling forward in time because I was scared of my surroundings and I needed to know what was coming next, what boogeyman was going to come up and hurt me, whatever it was. I was having nightmares long before that even happened. And so, I just was trying to go forward in time to protect myself. It's a form of protection. So the keepers of the earth, this is another nice one I got, is to do with this 9 of spring. So the law of attraction states that if you pull one card, you pull another one. Keepers of the earth is... Keepers of the earth. Where are we? 100. This could be your next passage of looking after things. You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand before you. You are so supported, you do not stand alone. You have a magnificent team of helpers, both in this world and on the earth, who are here to help you every step in the way. Call upon them for assistance. They are here to help. The keepers of the earth acknowledge the work that you have already done and are ready to work through. They bow at your feet and they thank you for wanting to stand for them, to devote your life to protecting the earth in your unique way. It is time to increase your capacity to receive support in the physical realm. This can come in the form of financial abundance, acts of service from strangers, or people flocking to help you and your work. The only thing that is stopping you right now is your capacity to receive support. You deserve to be rewarded for the work that you are doing. You do not need to go it alone. Call upon the keepers of the earth to help you on your mission. Open your heart and your mind and receiving more than you ever thought possible. What kind of support do you need now? Call it in right away. I am open to receiving a whole new level of support for my life and my work, and I call it in now. Include any other specific requests. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I need someone to help me with my channel. So if anyone's out there who's really good at editing, that would be really great. I'm going to put a ad up, I think, at the university and see if I can get someone to help me with things like this, which I'm no good at. I'm going to research it more. There's a thing called Computer Pals on a Tuesday through the library. I'm going to get them to help me with it once I'm well. So that's all I have for you today. I didn't want to pull the other cards. I just felt that was enough for Earth.